Hello everyone, my name is Aman Tandon and today I will be an instructor for React.Js. So basically today we'll be starting with one of the most loved and widely used framework of React, which is Next.Js. Currently it is used by many bigger organizations like Netflix, Marvels, Facebook. They are using them widely in their large scale projects. And also like it saves you lots of time because in React you have to write a lot of boilerplate code just for making private and public routes. Next.js has come with an alternative for that. Apart from that, it has inbuilt support for static site regeneration, server-side rendering. I guess these terms might sound harsh to you, but once you are done with it, you will feel very familiar with it. Okay, so basically for this session, we are dividing our course into three agendas. The first agenda would be like creating a Next.js project from scratch. So we will be exploring the documentation. We will be creating a new project from scratch. Then like we will be implementing some basic hooks like use effect and use state. And with the help of these hooks, we will be making some HX calls to like fake APIs, JSON placeholder APIs. So let's start. I'm sharing my screen. Okay, so let's first dive into the Next.js documentation. So here for prerequisites, suppose if you want to use a Next.js and you want to go with a new project, so there are some prerequisites for that. Like you must have Node.js version installed on a machine, either 10.13 or later one. All the earlier versions are not supported now. So I hope like the basic setup DevOps part is done from your end. So will be diving directly and creating a Next.js app. So basically we have to like use this npx or we can use npm or any other package manager and we can create this next app. So let's create a basic example here. So basically I have created an empty folder with the name of function app, and here I would be using this command, just copying and pasting it, and it will create a new project from scratch for me. So for IDE, we are using Visual Studio Code. So generally, this is like one of the best IDE. It has some of the great extensions which you can use. Here, yes. So for React, you can use this extension. Meanwhile, it is getting installed. It will give you the snippets for your React code. Suppose you are getting a function-based component, so you can like type SFC and you will get the complete function done in a fraction of seconds. So it will save a lot of time for you. So you can go with this extension. For code formatting, there is one more extension you can use, which is prettier. So basically what it does, it automatically formats your code on every save, whenever you save the code. So let's see for where installation is right now. Yes, it's done. So basically I just created a new in my empty folder. If I check now, there is a new application here, which name is Next.js blog, which I have given here. So the command goes like this. Here this is the command to create the app. This is the name of the app which we give. And here we have used some example, which we will getting from this particular branch. We have just cloned it. So let's first talk about the structure of Next.js. So initially there will be a package.json file. In package.json file, we have all our dependencies, all our scripts. So here we are using three dependencies. One is the React, which is the latest version we are using. One is the Next, which is latest version we are using. The React version is 17.0.2 and React DOM version is 17.0.2. So these are the dependencies which we are using in this project at the moment. These are the scripts. So suppose if I want to run my project in development mode, so I can use this dev script next, which will be next dev. If I want to build my project and then I want to serve my project to some external source like any hosting, maybe AWS or maybe any other hosting, so I can use this. And then there is a public folder. In public folder, we generally keep all our assets here. Like suppose if I'm having some images which I want to serve. So basically base path for this public folder is also already set in all our components. So we don't have to give the longer path every time. We can create a folder here and add our images here. Then there's a pages folder. So the best part of Next.js is you don't have to create any routes. The name of the page you create, the route will automatically be mapped for you. So currently there's only one page, which is index page here, and there is some code here. Okay, so don't worry, let's run it now. So we will be using the scripts which I told you earlier. So this is the script. Okay, let's open a new terminal here. So we will be using this yarn div. Okay, we have to navigate into the blog first. Okay, so it started our server on localhost 3000. So this is the basic page which we have got as of now, which says welcome to Next.Js. There is some CSS written here and there are some links. So now we will be creating a new page. So let's say we are creating a page for posts. So we have to just create a file here, post.js, in which I will be writing a function. See, this is with the help of the same extension which I told you, simple SFC, simple function. So it will create a function for me, a boilerplate code for me. I can name it anything I want. So here I am just returning post page at the moment. Now if I go to this page, it is working. The heading is coming, right? So the first step, like we will be dividing it into 3 steps. Let me like open some notes. First step, using state use effect. Second part, we will be making some Ajax calls, displaying the data. So let's start with the first one, using hooks. So why do we need hooks? So basically, we need hooks for reactivity. In function, in class-based components, generally, we were using the state, state in the constructor of the class. But in functional-based components, we need hooks to make it to make the JavaScript reactive. So basically, there are two mostly used hooks. We will be exploring them today. First is the use effect hook. So what we are going to do? We are going to display 10 posts here, and we will be getting the data from the API. But let's first make it hard static. So suppose if I want so whenever I refresh the page, I want to make an API call, or I want to change something whenever my DOM is mounting. So for that, we will be using use effect hook. So first we will import both of the hooks. Okay, let's take one state for posts, in which we'll be storing posts. Okay, so we have one variable, we have destructured it. So in post, we are storing an array, and this method set post will change our post whenever we are getting the data from the API. Initially, it is empty. And then we want to fetch the API data when the DOM is mounted. So for that, we will use the use effect hook. Now, use effect hook takes one array of dependencies. Suppose if you don't pass this array of dependencies, so this use effect will re-render every time there's a change on DOM. Suppose there is any click event, any scroll event, so this use effect hook will trigger again and again. But if there is an empty array of dependencies, then it will not trigger. And suppose we are using pagination or any other factors for which we want to change our post, like call the API again, so we can pass a dependency here. As of now, we are passing it empty because we don't have such use case. Okay, so now let's go and just have some dummy APIs. So I will search for JSON placeholder API.